It is freezing cold outside, everybody, and I am headed to, you can guess it, unthaw some pipes. So I'm going to take y'all along with me, show you the process of how to de-thaw a system. So I don't really know what I'm going to find, but we're going to go there and diagnose it. One of the easiest ways to diagnose a frozen system is with a temperature gun. So that way you can like actually point it at the pipe to tell you if it's 30 degrees or if it's warmer, if it's colder, below freezing. So that'll kind of give you an idea of where you need to start looking for the blockage. Okay, so this is the boiler room.
It's nice and warm in here.
It is, yeah. Yeah, it's definitely not cold enough.
There's a line right there. It goes up. There's a cutoff valve to it.
Okay. So this one goes to your house?
Right.
Okay. So we're gonna...
There's the one right there. It goes up to the well.
Yeah, it's 45, so that should be okay. Which one? This one goes to the well?
No, the other one. Right next to it.
No. No, that one shouldn't.
Yeah, it must
because
be.
See, this that's got a valve on it.
Yeah, that's right. It's that one right
so,
there.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, 52 degrees. So 52 degrees would be incoming water. We've got good water pressure here.
I said one with this darn filter up here.
Yeah, so we got...
Right here.
Okay, yeah, I'll check that in a minute. We've got, 42 degrees on the tank T, so that's good. It comes out, it comes
sometimes
up.
When more than them were up there, all the kids taking showers.
Yeah.
You have to change that filter real often.
I got you. All right. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, this is an old school system.
Oh, yeah.
Really old. But yeah, it keeps it warm in here.
Oh, yeah.
It really does. Okay. We'll go to your house. And it could be frozen right on the other side of the wall here where it exits. Let me find my glove.
It's never froze.
We got down to...
It's been mighty darn cold.
It was 7 degrees last night, so... Yeah, it's... See, it could be frozen in the ground right here. It's not it doesn't look like it goes in the ground at a hard angle, so... Yeah, it could be very well frozen right here in the ground. We'll go to your house and we'll figure out where the pipe comes up underneath the crawl space, and then I'll measure that temperature, and then we'll go from there. Oh man, yeah, it's nice and warm under here, but it is wet right there. Oh, gross. Okay. Yeah, we've got pretty serious moisture on the ground. Okay, so that right there is the line coming in the house, and we're gonna shoot it and see. And it's 34 degrees, so even underneath this house it actually feels warm, but I'm gonna say that the line in the ground itself is frozen, because you come up here and you shoot that one. As we get a little bit higher, the pipe itself, let's see, yeah, we're shooting the pipe itself is 37 degrees, so this isn't frozen. Yeah, unfortunately, in a situation like this, the boiler room has pressure and the other house has pressure, but two homes share the same well, and the water line that feeds this house is frozen in the ground. So there's absolutely no way to actually thaw this system out. Typically, the wellhead is what freezes up, and you need to put a light bulb out in the well cover and then seal it back up and allow the heat from the light bulb to radiate and get that cover to be about 40 degrees on the inside. And it takes about 5 or 6 hours, and then the pipes will slowly thaw themselves out. But in this case, it's actually the water line that is in the ground that runs from the control room at the other house to this house. So there's not really any fixing it. Time is the only thing that is going to fix this system, unfortunately. God, it's so short under here. I got like 2.5 cinder blocks. Okay, time to crawl out. Okie dokie. Yeah. The line in the ground. The line in the ground is frozen. There's nothing you can do about that.
Wait for it to get hot.
Well, yep. Unfortunately.
Well, you talking about
Cutting the pump off?
Yeah.
There's no need because it's not frozen over there.
My brother got good water pressure there in the house.
So does he run off the same well?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Okay, so he's got pressure and you don't.
Yeah.
So that just means your line in the ground.
What I figured.
Yep.
It's either that filter causing it
Yeah, no. I mean, I can change the filter out and we can try it, but it comes in the ground right here. And I measured the temperature of the pipe under the house, and it's 34.5, 35 degrees. So it's still not below freezing, but this ground is hard as a rock. And from all the rain we just got, and now it's all frozen, I'm sure that the frost line is probably at like 8 inches. So the pipe in the ground's frozen, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Nothing we can do about it. Gotta let the sun beat on it. And if it does thaw itself out, then the water is just gonna warm it up. And if it can ever make its way past it, then the warmer water moving past it will thaw that chunk of ice out, and then it'll start to flow. But if you can get a dribble in the house and you can get a little stream of water, just let it flow for like 30-45 minutes, and then it'll pick itself back up. But yeah, unfortunately.
Should I continue letting it run a little in the house?
Yeah, if you can get it to drip, yeah, just leave it run.
Okay. That's what I've been doing ever since I got up at 6 o'clock this morning.
Yeah.
And it had good pressure first, and then it started getting slower and slower.
Yeah, it was 7 degrees. So
oh yeah, I know.
that's like terribly cold for this area. Yeah. All right, let's go. We'll get a filter. We'll change your filter out. And
I got a filter. Let me get a bucket to catch the water.
Okay, get a bucket.
I'll be done in a minute.
So see, what's really hurting this house is that the water line comes in right there at the right side of that tank, between that and that chimney, and it basically is plowed in the ground here, and then it goes through the gap of these two buildings, and it runs over there to that house. So the unfortunate situation here is all of this is shaded. It's not going to get any sunlight to help heat the ground up. If I walk over here out of the shaded area, I can feel the ground is just a little bit more mushy because my heels dig in. And if I come over here and walk into this, my heels don't dig in at all. It's solid. So the sun does help a lot, but typically you don't find water lines frozen in the ground just due to the fact that the ground radiates enough heat. But you know, not heat, but it tries to stay above 32 degrees, just the geothermal effect of the ground. But here we got to 7 degrees last night, which middle of the East Coast, we don't typically see those temperatures. You know, that's New York and Pennsylvania and stuff like that typically sees that single digit weather, but we haven't seen single digits here in my home state in probably 10 to 15 years. So unfortunately, it's not something I can fix because they got water here, so you know the well's not frozen. So all we're going to do now is try to change the filter and then see if that improves anything, but I doubt it will. All right, so we went ahead and changed the filter, and like I tell everybody, never use a carbon filter, those black water filters, and that's why. So we changed the filter, and I came back over here to the house, and filter was plugged up so tight that it wouldn't let any water flow by. But it may still have been frozen, but this faucet right on the other side when I was under the house is directly connected to the area where the water line comes in the house. Like the water line is somewhere right here in front of my hand. So this would be your most direct source for water flow. Now that's not extreme pressure right there, so if it is an ice blockage, I'm letting the water in the pipes try to melt the blockage to see if it'll, you know, increase. So basically the temperature inside the pump house is right around 50 degrees, 46, 48. So the water in the storage tank is the same temperature. So now if the pipe in the ground is say 32 degrees, we're sending 48 degree water through it. And the more water we send through it, that heat radiates into the ground to help keep the pipe from freezing again. So that is like the theory behind leaving a little sink run. Look, we've got our air from changing the filter.
We got a lot more pressure.
You got more pressure in the house now?
More.
That's great. Well, as you can see, I'm all done with the job and I've made my way back home. Basically what we found was that the black carbon filter was the cause of the no water situation. So the filter was so plugged up that it wouldn't allow any passage of water through. Now, I try to make this statement on a lot of my videos that you don't use the black filter elements for well water. You only use white filter elements. The black carbon elements, they stop up so completely tight and so fast that the system won't allow water to flow through. They're designed for city water, for removing the chlorine taste out of city water, not for well water. The minerals in the water and the sediment in the water can plug up a black carbon filter faster than anything. Now, typically what everybody is going to click on this video for is thinking, you know, how can I unthaw my system? Well, I'm going to show you here. Since the video didn't pan out and the job didn't pan out like a typical frozen situation, I'm going to show you what I use, and one of them is sitting right there behind me keeping my garage warm right now, so I don't have my jet skis freeze up and anything inside of them pop. So I got to keep the inside of my garage at least 36 degrees or higher. So I'm going to show you the other two things that I use. So now, I know everybody's system is different depending on how big your pump house is, or even if you have a pump house, or if your pressure tank is down in your crawl space, or whatever the case may be. Everybody's is different. If you have a large area and you're not living in that area, you can use a heater like this. These are really great. You just want to be sure that you're on level ground and, you know, nothing can potentially cause a fire with something like that. Now, that is for bigger situations, larger rooms that you're trying to get above freezing. Now, the most common thing I like to recommend is a small space heater like this, especially one with a thermostat that's built into it. Now, if we look at it, you can turn it on low or high heat. Basically, you're looking at 1,000 watts or 1,500 watts. But what's nice is that this, you never want to put it on max. Even on minimum, it's going to kick on at 40 degrees. So you could take the thermostat here and turn it up just like that, and this thing is going to run until wherever it's at, like trapped inside, is going to get to 50 degrees. 50 degrees is all you need. It doesn't sit there and have to run 24/7 and burn electricity or whatever the case may be. And this one has a little safety switch on the bottom in case it were to ever tip over. Now, where I would use a space heater like this would be right near the bladder tank, where the nipple for the pressure switch is the small 1/4 inch nipple about the size of my pinky. That's typically what freezes up on the bladder tanks first. So I would take this and I would set it right in front of the bladder tank like this, and your pressure switch would be here, and I would leave it on that setting. You could put it on low heat or whatever the case may be to where you don't melt any pipes, but have it close enough to where the heat actually heats up the metal part of the plumbing to help keep it from freezing. And then keep it as low as possible, because heat rises, so you want to keep your heat source as low as possible to keep the heat and the cold from freezing your pipes. So you want to point it on it, direct it on it, get some airflow on it to where after a few hours, it'll probably take 3, 4, 5, 6 hours to thaw pipes out. You know, you're melting an ice cube on the back side of the insulated wall, whether it be PVC or PEX or brass. So you have to melt that obstruction in order to get it to unfreeze. Now, if your wellhead is frozen, typically a wellhead gets frozen, and you can try the pressure switch spark test to see if your pump's running. If you know your pump's running and you don't have water, then you know that that's typically where it's frozen. It's frozen out at the well. Now, what I like to do is take an old lamp like this, take the lampshade off, take the cover off of the well, turn the light bulb on, stick it down, and basically rest the light bulb on the dirt like this, and then your plumbing pipe, when it goes down in the ground, it comes up and it goes over to the well, have this just sitting down on the ground because the heat from the bulb is going to radiate up. Then you can take like an old towel or something and drape it across it to where the heat gets trapped underneath the towel where the pipes are at, because you want a nice insulating factor. But you don't want any of the fabric to touch the bulb because you might potentially cause a fire. And you definitely don't want to take the bulb and allow it to touch any of the plastic plumbing pipe because it can melt the pipe. Now, a lot of people will jump to, oh, let me go get a 250 watt heat lamp. Well, those are going to melt your pipe regardless. It's going to get it so hot in there that it's going to melt the pipe. It'll melt the PVC casing. I've seen it time and time again. So get you a 60 watt or 100 watt light bulb, lay it right down on the ground, and allow the heat from it to come up and radiate and get the temperature inside the well cover above 32 degrees. You don't have to heat the well cover to like residential living temps, like 70 degrees like we live in our house. We don't need that. We just need it above freezing. It's still going to take a few hours for the pipes to thaw out, but you have to get some sort of heat source out in your well, and then you have to cover it back up. So get your light bulb in there, put it in there, put the cover back on, make sure the bulb is on. You know, a lot of people grab an old light bulb and the bulb won't work. So I don't know how you can make it work, but don't ever allow the bulb to be too big in wattage or you'll melt pipe. And don't allow the bulb itself to actually touch any fabric, any insulating part, or any of the pipe because it will melt the pipe. And then you just go and run that to an extension cord like we have here, and then you can have the system running, you know, probably within 5 or 6 hours. Well, I hope y'all enjoyed today's video. Like you and like many other people right now with this bad Arctic blizzard that we have, everybody has frozen pipes. So be sure to keep the crawl space opening under your house closed. All of your vents that are under your house, if you have a crawl space, walk around your house. I know it's cold. Close all those vents. You don't want to allow the wind that we're getting to blow underneath your house and allow any of your plumbing underneath your house to freeze, or it's going to allow, you know, everything to get below 32. So we want to keep all that nice and cold, or keep all that nice and sealed up to where we don't get the cold weather blowing through the house. So seal your crawl space up as best as you can. If you have a pump house, make sure all the doors and the gaps and the windows are sealed to where everything there can maintain the heat that it has, you know, from the earth or wherever the case may be. So stay warm. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. Give it a thumbs up if you did, and you're not subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I'll see y'all later.